Hello, my name is Bridget Hochter, and this is my video for SPD300 at Grand Canyon University. This video is on special education history and the laws that have brought about our special education system today. Throughout history, people with disabilities have faced unimaginable hardships, including exploitation, exclusion, expulsion, and some other cases, execution. Often families in the past who have had children with disabilities had to hide their children away from public view. Around the 19th century, people began to take an interest in those with disabilities. They founded multiple institutions of training and teaching. Also, legislation began to protect people with disabilities. In this way, special education started to develop. However, like anything, there's ups and downs. In 1893, the Massachusetts Supreme Court ruled that a child who was weak in mind, could not benefit from institution, was troublesome to other children, made unusual noises, and wasn't able to take physical care of himself could be expelled. In the White House Conference of 1910, the conference led to the increasing interest of educating children with disabilities in a public school setting rather than in institutions. By moving children back to the public schools, away from institutions, they created segregated classrooms for children with disabilities. They were isolated from their general population. In the 1950s and 1960s, the Civil Rights Movement, which sought to change the society and allow minorities, particularly African Americans, equal opportunities. The court case Brown versus Board of Education was a major victory in the civil rights movement. The court ruled that the segregation of the students had negative consequences on their education and with that denied students the equal opportunity of an education. This case helped to create a platform for which students with disabilities and their families were able to fight for them to have equal opportunities within the school system, so they were no longer isolated or segregated from their peers, receive the same education and an appropriate education for those with disabilities. In 1972, there were two court cases that had major influences over the special education system we see today. In the court case, Pennsylvania Administration of Retarded Citizens, PARC, versus Pennsylvania, this class action lawsuit was brought against the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in the Federal District Court. The ruling of the court brought about specifying agreements that all children with mental retardation between the ages of 6 and 21 must be provided a free public education. In the court case Mills versus Board of Education, students were being denied access to schools. These students had disabilities including behavior problems, hyperactivity, epilepsy, mental retardation, and physical impairment. The court ruled that the school board needed to provide all children with disabilities public support and education. In addition, the court ordered the district provide due process safeguards. The safeguards became the framework for a due process component of Education for All Handicapped Children Act, EAHCA. With the creation of EAHCA, the Education for All Handicapped Children Act of 1975 brought about that all qualified students for disabilities had the rights to a non-discriminatory testing, be educated in the least restrictive environment, provide due process, including parent involvement, a free education and appropriate education, and also created the IEP program, which is the Individualized Education Program. With the creation of the IEP, they were able to create goals and objectives for individual students. In 1990, the EAHCA was renamed the Individual with Disability Education Act, IDEA. And with the creation of the IDEA, they created a transition plan, which is required for every student ages 16 years or older. They also created the Change of People First language. In 2004, the Individuals with Disability Education Improvement Act, they removed short-term goals from an IEP except for students with severe disabilities and encouraged the use of response to intervention models to determine if students were learning disabled. Today, some websites to assist in knowing the current legal trends are the Right Law Special Education Law articles announced in publications, Education Week, the National Center for Special Education in Charter Schools, and the Office of Superintendents of Public Instruction, OSPI, is a Washington State resource. Thank you for watching my video on special education history and laws.